did, and as Christianity formed over time, and as Rome corrupted an awful lot, and I still stay and I still believe it, and still present it to whoever's going to listen to me, sort of thing, they deliberately suppressed that knowledge and that understanding to create a lower understanding of the deeper, higher, broader, divine spiritual concepts that Yeshua was trying to get across, to say that, well, yes, he was God. He was a manifestation of God. He was the Son of God. He was this a special being, that you have to look up to and all the rest of it, sort of thing, So they may have known what the deeper teachings was, and they just deliberately chose to twist and distort it, sort of thing, to present what most Christians believe today, sort of thing. And if you don't believe that, then you're an antichrist or whatever. You're evil. All is so contrary to what Yeshua himself, what the Essene movement, which I'm convinced at this point Yeshua was trying to awaken people to realize, to understand, sort of thing. So, guys. I'm going to clue it up here now, I think. I had 1 hour 55 seconds of recording time here. And I know so it's rather warm here right now, so either this thing will probably shut off on me because it overheats, which so far I'm doing good so far, or else I'll just jabber on until I run out of time on a chip or whatever, and it cuts off that way, sort of thing. I think that's about all that I can get in right now. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to say there as such. So, like I said, now, I mean, I could have done this tonight actually with a bit of a reading from the Book of Acts and just jumped into it now. But I think what I'll do is we'll leave that for now, and guys, if only I could get out what I want to get out. If only I could, I'm 61 years of age now, guys. 61, just over a month ago, I turned 61. And right now, my health is good, relatively good, I have to struggle with my nerves all the time. I have to struggle with it, which none of that should be a part of my life at all, actually. If I was tapped into Source properly, I don't think I would be feeling any of this problems with my nerves and depression and all the rest of it, sort of thing. Because when you're tapped into Source properly, Source, the energies of Source flood your being to such an extent that the Pentecostals talk about living as a overcomer, sort of thing. You overcome all the limitations of the flesh, of the body, sort of thing. You live in a state of victory continuously, sort of thing. I find like those ideas and concepts like massively appealing. And so again, one of the things that I realized very, very early on, guys, it preached at me that Christianity is different from other religions. Supposedly Christianity is different from other religions, And even as a kid, I just preached it, in my ear, in my mind, sort of thing, And but see, I ask questions, guys. I've always asked questions. I'm not satisfied with just that alone. Okay, so then explain to me how that's so. Explain to me how this religion is different from any other religion that has ever existed before, sort of thing, I used to ask those questions, guys. I used to ask ministers that when I was growing up, sort of thing, And I used to watch everybody around me at the time when I was from my small community out home and so on that. I used to watch to see the transformations in people's lives and so on that. If Christianity is so damn different from any other religion in the world, why am I not seeing things in people's lives, changes into people's lives that mark them as different from the non-Christian or whatever, the secular person, the sinner, whatever term you want to use for non-believers, sort of thing. And I couldn't see it. I couldn't detect it. I couldn't find it with anybody ever at any point, And so my mother passed away when I was 7 years of age. My grandmother passed away when I was 7 years of age. About a year or so later, I had some type of what I'm thinking now is a bit of a mystical experience. Maybe it's just all in my own head. I don't know. But I was on a school bus coming home one afternoon. All this craziness going on around me, sort of thing. Even at 8 years of age, guys, totally lost in my thoughts and so on. That, and really upset that my grandmother had passed away at such an early stage in my life. I could have been so close to my grandmother, I think, had she lived longer, sort of thing. And it's like kids do, like people do. I kept asking, like, God, why did you do this? Why did you do this? Why did you take her? You know, what was the point in taking her? You know how much my mother was dependent on her, to keep her going and to keep her sane and all the rest of it, because my mom had all kinds of mental health issues and all the rest of it, sort of thing. Like, why did you do this? Like, well, and couldn't get any answers, couldn't get any satisfactory answers, and I wanted to kind of come to a point where, it's like, well, you don't exist, you can't exist. I mean, it's like, you allow these things to happen continuously, this horrible life that I'm living, bullied all the time and all the rest of it, nobody understands me and so on and so forth, now you've taken my grandmother away from me, sort of thing. It's like how can you be there and just allow, and I've lost track of how many times, guys, throughout my lifetime that has entered my mind since then, as to why the Almighty sits back and allows so much madness to go on in the world, sort of thing. I believe that for some more time. But the little flip in my intentions, we'll say, was that I said to myself, okay, like, I don't understand any of this. I really don't understand any of this. 8 years of age now, guys. That's the way I was talking in my mind, even at 8 years of age. But despite that, despite the fact that I don't understand why you let the things happen that you let happen, why you let all the misery happen, why you're not there more, why you don't answer prayer more, and so on and so forth, I will still choose to believe that you exist. I believe that you exist regardless, sort of thing. It was a bit more to it now, guys. I mean, I was really lost in my thoughts this afternoon, like that. And I swear to goodness, guys, again, I don't know if it's just projection on my part or what it was. I felt this peace, this calm just sort of settled over me. It's like just my eyes just kind of, just light came over my eyes or whatever, sort of thing. And everything kind of faded out around me, sort of thing. And I just felt just so relaxed and so at peace and so calm and all the rest of it, when I sort of made that declaration, sort of thing. And so, but this wasn't like Christian, like the way I'm thinking back on, the way my mind was working at the time, even then, I wasn't praying to Jesus as being God or Yeshua as being God. I was praying to the source of whatever the source is, as I was trying to understand source even at that point in my life, God at that point in my life. And that's what I was praying to. And that's what I was talking to, trying to communicate with, sort of thing. And that's what happened. And and then several years later, guys, at I think it was 12 years of age, I did this whole born again thing. Now this was more kind of Christianized sort of thing, where I had accepted Yeshua into my life as my Lord and Savior. Now, guys, I'm sharing this with you right now. Nobody has the right to pick this apart and say, well, obviously, if you've walked away now, you couldn't have been a Christian then or whatever. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't want any responses from anybody on any of these personal things that I'm sharing with you, saying, well, that's not right, that was a joke, that didn't happen, or whatever. So you don't know, you weren't there, you didn't experience it. Don't disrespect me and disrespect my life story by coming at it that way, sort of thing. So all I can tell you is that at 12 years of age, I believe I was sincere at the time, according to my understanding, according to what everybody was preaching at me and make me believe, sort of thing. This is what I had to do, sort of thing. And at that time, at that moment, I'm convinced I was just as sincere as I could have been, sort of thing, And so more from 8 years of age, when I had that kind of sort of a spiritual, supernatural experience, or whatever it may have been, to when I was 12, in the church setting, and all very formalized and all the rest of it. I had a minister pray over me, arms around me and all the rest of it, and so on and so forth. And I said a little prayer myself. I won't bother to tell you what I said in the prayer sort of thing, and got up and kind of just went on with things, you know. And but the thing that I found a bit strange, and I even sort of like just knelt at the altar for the longest time, waiting. I was waiting for this reoccurrence of this thing to come over me that had happened to me when I was 8 years of age, and nothing much really happened, sort of thing, you know. And so I can't stay there all day. I mean, you know, ministers or other things they want to do. I mean, it's like I have to get back home, you know, back home. My brother was with me that day, and he was waiting because we were going to go back home together, sort of thing. And he was peeking around the corner of the little sanctuary thing that our church was at the time, because it was in a larger building. It was just it wasn't a church unto itself. It was a sanctuary, like in a larger building, sort of thing. And he was out in the foyer area, whatever, just peeking in around the corner and so on. That was all this was going on. I wondered what in the heck his brother is doing here, sort of thing, you know. The thing I need to tell you here, guys, was that what I did that day, it was a solemn thing in my heart and in my own mind, okay? So I go back to it now from time to time, you know, when I think about my life and think about my connection with Yeshua and trying to understand Yeshua and all the rest of it, and his message and how to live out his message and all the rest of it, sort of thing. My spiritual path has been a continuous thing all throughout my whole entire life. There's never been a break where I wasn't on the spiritual path. And by that I mean, I never had a point in my life where I became secular and I walked away from everything spiritual for X number of months, years, or whatever, so I kind of came back to it, sort of thing. Okay, I've never had that. That's people will never understand me and where I'm coming from, sort of thing. It's never been that way. This desire to be connected with Source and to develop myself spiritually and connect with deeper spiritual enlightenment and awareness and understandings of things and so on, that has been there as far back as I can remember. So Source is one thing, and my understanding of Yeshua is something else, you know. This is where Jewish people should be very, very happy with me, because I distinguish between the two, and I always have distinguished between the two. I see Yeshua as one thing, as one beautiful, powerful spiritual being, sort of thing, but I see Source, the originating force of all things, as being something separate and above Yeshua, sort of thing. I think I always have, actually. Honest to goodness, I really think I always have. Even like having it preached at me as a kid that Jesus was God and all the rest of it. It didn't resonate with me. It didn't make sense to me, sort of thing. And with all the deeper understanding that I've gained over the years, sort of thing, and what we're doing the past 2 years in particular, even more so, guys, you know, that he couldn't have made some of the statements that Christianity claims he made, just from the very simple, practical, common sense perspective of the context that he lived in, the place, the time, his religious background, his belief system, and so on. That he couldn't have made those claims. But we can very, very easily see how Rome could have distorted all of that some 300 plus years after the fact to make a claim about Yeshua that he never made himself, and created a false god out of him, sort of thing, you know. Again, I can't get into that now because I'm almost at the end of this video, sort of thing. I'll try to get into it a bit better later on, sort of thing. And I'm sorry if that upsets a Christian fundamentalist. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but it's just that I have to go with my own spiritual awareness and spiritual understandings of things. And, you know, like I firmly believe, the very core of my being, I don't think Yeshua made the claims that Christianity says he made. You know, he had deep, profound understandings of things, and a deep message he was trying to get across to the people of his time. Some may have gotten it, the majority probably didn't get it, and I'm convinced that a huge portion of it was greatly twisted and distorted over time. You know, and if I can present a case to help you see how that's so, I'll do my best. But I mean, if you never see that, never want to see that, and you demonize me and condemn me for taking this perspective, well, that's on your head. That's all I can say. That's on your head. That's your perspective. I'm not going to let that tarnish me anymore and diminish me anymore from the way I understand things and the way I understand how this great spiritual sage lived his life, and how he tried to touch people, touch the world, touch humanity, and all the rest of it. And you know, something happened. Something clearly happened that reverberates down through the ages to this day and age, sort of thing, guys. You know, so I'm trying to tap into and connect with that, not what the dogma says it was, but what it actually was, for whatever we can gain, whatever knowledge and facts and material that we can gain now, over 2,000 years after the fact, sort of thing. That's where I'm, the journey that I'm on right now, but I'm trying to discover and trying to find out, sort of. Yeah, okay, I guess that's good enough to end off right now on, guys. 1 hour and 26 minutes in. I just hope to goodness, guys, I don't have a tiny little second tack on a little bit that's going, like, if it's a 5-minute or 10-minute little tack on bit at the very end, not so bad. But I know with some of my videos, it's just like the second or so of just, you know, where I didn't cut it off at the right point, and that's very annoying. I don't even know why I even bothered to even like upload those little snippets like that, sorry. So I'm going to put all this together now, guys. I'm going to look through this here now, and I'm going to have to go and use the washroom here now because my bladder is calling me here. I wish I had the spiritual power to override my physical urges and all the rest of it, but I'm going to have to rush and use the washroom here now, guys. So anyway, guys, please look at this video, guys, and like just sit down and enjoy it, and you know, support it and all the rest of it. Support what I'm trying to do here, and help me to get some of my videos, you know, to get some traction and so on that, because like I don't know how else to impact the world right now, guys, other than trying to get somewhere with this YouTube channel and trying to get a little bit of a following, and just you know, I'm adding my voice to X number of voices that are out there, trying to enlighten humanity, trying to deepen humanity, trying to work to make this place a better, you know, a better world, a better place, you know, from my own perspective, my own understanding of things, sort of thing. And I think my voice is as important as anybody else's voice, guys. I've been rejected my entire life. I've been pushed to one side my entire life. It feels like nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody wants to pay heed to what I have to say. Nobody wants to give me any credence that the things that I'm presenting, you know, have some substance, have some depth. You know, I was bullied as a kid. I never had friends. I mean, it's like my whole life, as far back as I can remember, right to this very present day, guys, has been nothing but endless non-stop rejection, and people ignoring me and pushing me to one side and writing me off.